Ay, saan ang agibat? Ay, nasa bahay sir. Nakakako yan.
Meron gamitin niya mamaya sir, hanggang alas 2.
Hindi mo na yung tusok-tusok. Uminom ako ng tusok-tusok. Europe yun.
Opo kayo. Thank you sir.
Sabi mo kanina, di ba may sabihin ka?
Ano?
Sasabihin
Ano
mo
sabihin?
Di ba sasabihin mo? Oo.
Ay, alam mo na, alam niyo na ang ugali nila dito. Kaya,
Uy, ano ugali meron kami? Huwag kang ganyan. Balik tayo dito kay sir. Kumusta na kayo?
kumusta na si Sir? Yun lang. Kumusta kayo?
Kamera nyo.
Ano yan si Sir?
Acting daw eh. I mean, sabi nga ni Shakespeare, all the world's a stage. And everyone's an actor and saan sa Macbeth o sa King Arthur. Di ba? King Arthur or Arthur. Okay, continue. All the world's a stage. Every literature professor. Di ba? All the world's a stage. And all are na parang anong plano is to continue the sabi ko nga di ba nung pag-assume ko mga a month ago, to provide continuity, stability, sustainability. That's it. Oh, and we've been doing that. So the plan is to continue doing what we've been doing. Betterer, stronger, smarter. Oh, di ba?
Sustain ba sir yung inumpisahan?
Yes. Yes, and we are betterer. I mean, things are betterer than yesterday. I can assure you that because we're here and there are a lot of improvements in terms of our mission accomplishment and our goals na na-achieve, and then the status of our people and the people of Eastern Visayas. I believe by the time yung mga statistics will be out, yung economic growth, maybe even yung the political maturity which is quite difficult to measure, is quite different now. I can say that from the last 3 elections that I've been here in this region. Diba? There's 2019, 2022, saka barangay elections. Things are better. Have been better since those past 3 elections, and this coming election will be, I believe, a much better state of things na in terms of our democratic exercise. I don't naman whatever happens between the candidates, between the localities. That's their own. There are mga whatever will take place in the 2024 national elections. That's a product of how mature the electorate as a whole and as a part of a community will display among themselves. Meaning, di ba, yung mga tumatakbo, tapos yung boboto, kung mamimili. At yung dati-dati na ng mga asungot, pangapasaway na nagre-result in the old days, failure of election. We never had that in the past 3 elections. There have been no failure of elections in this region. May minor glitches to be expected if a locality is very far from the highway or the signal will be out for a while, may power outage, but that's it. All those were addressed by the COMELEC, by all the agencies na deputized ng COMELEC, the armed forces, the police, even the DepEd. Question kagad si Joy, ayaw nag-o-object eh.
Hindi sir, may ano lang ako. Pwede po i-reserve natin yan may sa
Oo ka. Oo. Yung nag-start siya sa 8th Brigade Secretary in Santo, Leyte. Doon niya naka-base. And then it moved here in Camp Lumban. But this camp existed way before, the 1950s, as the Eastern Command of the Armed Forces. Tapos naging Regional Unified Command ng AFP. Way back then, the AFP included the PCINP, the Philippine Army, Air Force, and Navy. And the Philippine Navy included the Philippine Coast Guard. So, mga anak-anak na yan. It was elevated into a division in 1988. Tapos, ito yung mga unit-unit. Dito na tayo dito. Yan! Tapos labas tayo doon. With the 19th Infantry Battalion as executive officer. And then the, engaged. So, Major Ilesar responded with the 19th IB. And yun, they fought hard. Pero siya ang nagano talaga kay hindi niya iniwan yung kanyang mga kasama, and he died. His widow was here yesterday. Si Ma'am Flora Piñano, who is now 77 years old with their 40-year-old son. Si Everwin Piñano was just 1 year old. The fifth, I think, of the children of the late Major Opiñano. So we will continue to, ito actually was dedicated in 1993 pa, itong field na ito, but we just enhance it with this marker. And we will be doing that, honoring Major Opiñano, every October 28, 2:30 in the afternoon, henceforth. So every year we will do that, mag-replaying, give him honors, and invite his widow and descendants. They live in Katarman. Yung si Mrs. Piñano, pareho sila dating teacher ni Major Opiñano. Then Major Opiñano nagpa-commission hanggang yun, inabot niya yung rank na yun, and died as a hero of this island. And that is the history of Major Opiñano. Advice ka? Ang kanina kumain ako 525 calories. Nag-half rice lang ako kasi yung rice, ang isang cup ng rice is 206 calories. Tama? Yan ang kinain mo ngayon.
Pero dito masarap sir, kasi may super na cups na malaki.
Bandihado yung kinakain mo. Pag hindi, yung kinakain mong bibilang sa'yo. Bilangin na lang kailangan mo kumain ka. Diba? Over 22 in Barangay Anagasi, Paranas, while they were nung nag-umpisa pa lang yung bagyo, they were already killed. Tapos they were sa gilid ng river na dulas ito. Tapos his comrades, yung team nila, ang bilis naagos na na anon. And then we deployed 5 to 6 teams na nag-rescue, pero 2 days after pa siya na-recover. Dun downstream, mga 300 meters downstream. Of course, nag-float na siya, pero his firearms were still with him. Yung niya, it's just talagang accident. So he will be buried tomorrow in Lapisares. Noong Sunday, binigyan namin ng hero's welcome, and he was sinundo ng tatay niya at saka kapatid, and we condoled with him. Ambag-ambag yung aming mga yung mga stormtroopers, meron kaming ambag-ambag, may 60,000 na binigay, may sa tropa, may SW2 din 2,000, 6,500, and then the office of the president will be giving, in a process 500,000, 200,000 from the army. So aside from the his father will be entitled to a pension. Wala bang existing with the St. Peter. Pag yan, dinadala yan doon. Tapos St. Peter na binabayaran niya ng army.
So yung family hindi wala nang problema.
So this is General Vicente Reyes Lukban, on whom this camp is named after. He is not actually a Waray. He is from Labo Camarines Norte. And he was assigned here as a general by General Aguinaldo. Kaya nung panahon ng ano na yan, siya yung nag-organize ng katipunan and then the resistance against the Spaniards. So he planned the Balangiga counter. Then eventually,
Capture din katubig siya, di ba sir?
nakalagay na din.
Capture.
Entrance itong na rule.
Entrance itong ano na.
Maganda doon sa entrance kasi may marker.
Sige.
Exit only. Pumasok sa exit.
Masarap yung ano nila. Luming. May luming ninyo?
Hello, aware.
Ano lang? Pang... Ayan. Masarap ito. Yung kanyang... Dessert? Oo. Ay, sorry.
Sige.
Mamaya siguro may nandun.
Oh. Dining area.
Ano?
Karan dining area.
Pero pues, akala mo pescar.
Long tennis. So, di ba? Parang ping-pong table. Yung kanyang racket. Ang racket niya.
Parang malaksing, maliit lang na ano.
Parang ano? Died in Oras in July 18, 2004. Second lieutenant. Ayun naman ang death anniversary. So we invited his parents last July, mga Ilonggo na. Kasi manwa ako, naglupad sila kay mga aswang.
Kasi nilagyan siya ng ganun.
He died in combat also in Oras.
Oras sa
Yun yung this
2004
war is real.
kagpili siya.
People are dying.
Kagpili oras 2004.
No, not Kagpili. Iba yun. Iba yun yung attack sa Kagpili. Sa doon, sa North Luzon, punta natin.
Ito yung lugar na tatak ni Sir Mariano.
Ano sa'yo?
Ano ka lang, child labor. Ano lang, accompanying an adult.
Company ba yan na? With con pa yan eh. Tinatawag na parental guidance.
Starting yan.
Depende yan sa kanila eh. Kung sino yung bakante, yan ang kasama ko. Mga anak ko, pag yung isa, pag bakante yan ang sinasama ko. Ako pag resepsyon na siya nakupod ngayon. Di ba?
Birthday na rin pala ng other day.
Nicolo Dixon.
So, the day before Major Opiniano died, but of course, different generation. So, yun ang life in the army. Life and death in the army. So, sabi nga, di ba? Doon sa libingan ng mga bayani. Pag nandiyan ka sa gate, may inscription dyan. I do not know the nobility of his birth. What I know, but what I know is the dignity of his death on July 3, 2004 in Sitio Maykurot, Barangay Naga, Oras, Eastern Samar. He used, before that, he was stationed in Hulo, Sulu, and being young and energetic, a combat leader, he exemplified the ideals of courage because he was awarded the Gold Cross Medal for bravery in Hulo against 100 armed Abu Sayyaf. He lived there, nabuhay siya doon, pero dito naman sa oras.
Oras.
Oras niya na.
Oo.
Oras yan.
Ambos yan.
Oh, mga waray-waray ito na. Iri man ko to abo sayap. Oh, pero sayop. Oh, nagsayap. Pero ganoon eh. So he died in oras. But he lives forever.
You were classmates in PNP?
No, he's younger.
Batang-bata yan, 1979.
1979. So,
2002. Kaedad ko lang. Ano ba?
Ambos ito. Ambos noon. Sa may... Kasi tingnan dito nga.
Ulay.
With 6 others. Wait, doon ka kay ako si General Ulay.
Kayong nag-i-explain.
Orang problema presente di mata tuan asa etera.
Handed over the mantle of leadership of this division. He succeeded G4, Usada, and our G8, Renditirol, G3, Renavega, G6, ng Manila. Kaya kung may mga peculiar sa kanila, kung hindi ko masyadong mahirap yung tanong, sila sasagot. So, who wants to answer the first question? May question na ba? Ako na ba? Ano ba?
Lamig sa pagkiniluwag. Lamig sa pagkiniluwag.
Sino ka naggamit?
Kunin mo oras. Dali na lang.
Hindi na po po. Ordinary. Okay, so like, ligid pa po.
Ligid yan. Mau pa ligid.
Hindi ligid pa po.
I'm Deputy Niya, 1 Radio 11.3. Sir, congratulations sir. Ikaw na po ngayon ang ating commander ng NIA. May pagkakaano po ba ang pamamalakad at ang mga plano mo para sa NIA?
Ang pamamalakad dito ay naaayon sa pangkabuoang direksyon na binibigay sa amin. As to the plan, like I said, I'm continuing what has been started by my predecessors. Continuing effort ng kaumpasahan. Thank you, sir.
May paghahanda na po ba ang NIA para sa darating na 2025 local and national elections?
Meron na. Ayon lang doon sa mga ano lang muna, preparedness to be deployed. Kasi yung ating mga present naman na deployment, yan na rin, no? Nag-address ng mga potential problems. So, we will be working closely with the Commission on Elections. So far, hindi pa naman sila nagpapatawag ng mga joint meetings. Kasi nasa ano pa lang, di ba, natatapos lang ng filing, yung mga substitution. Pumapasok yan siya pag isa na yung campaign period, yung period ng gun ban, period ng COMELEC checkpoints, and doon sa kalendaryo naman. Kaya we're ready. Kasi nga sa ano naman ito, it's a regular democratic exercise. At nahasa na rin yung ating mga tropa at sistema kung paano ito matakbo.
Yes, thank you po. Deputy Niya from 1 Radio sir.
And sworn in the limited president of Summer Video sa mga Pilipinas. My question runs this way. Bakit po nasa Maynila na po ang exam daw ng candidate for OS yata? Sa Maynila na po ba ginagawa? Opo, ang examination ng yung mag-a-apply
sa Mandaluyong Soldier.
Opo, bakit daw po sa Maynila?
Doon naman talaga yun because we have a centralized recruitment system. And starting this year, merong one factory concept na implement ng Philippine Army. So the selection process is actually done centrally by Headquarters Philippine Army through the Army Personnel Management System. So ang testing center talaga ng Philippine Army na
sa Fort Bonifacio. Ngayon, meron din siya mga arms sa regions. There's a Army Recruitment Center in the Visayas based in Cebu. Kaya kung mga OTA or applicants na based dito sa Visayas, ang processing yan, computerized. So they apply online, and then the examination is regularly done in Manila. But if there's a demand or a number of applicants na based sa mga regions, nag-outreach naman. The examination are still conducted on schedule. Say we need to be efficient. Kailangan may so much number ng applicants para mag-outreach o mag-reach out yung Army Personnel Management Center. But rest assured, it's still open to all able-bodied Filipinos within the age range, within those qualifications. Because we are just no longer being given that main task kasi we are focused on our combat operations. So yung task ng recruitment is better concentrated on the Army Personnel Management Center, which is based in Fort Bonifacio, Taguig.
Follow-up question, sir. Nakita ko kanina sa paglilibot po natin, napakarami po tayong mga naitayo mga commemoration na tawag nito marker dito sa loob ng Camp Lukban. Ini-visits para sa mga kababayan natin hindi pa rin po bumababa until now na pinangangagandahan nila na sila ay magugulo pa rin sa darating na halalan. There are reports from the field.
Kung hindi naman sila butante, kung hindi naman sila naparehistro, hindi naman sila kandidato, our troops are ready to address all this threat. So, kung ayaw nilang bumaba, huwag na. Dito na lang sila. Sila puntahan namin. Mahanap din yan. At hindi man sa ngayon, may bukas pa.
Maraming salamat, sir.
Sir, regarding sa election, meron na po ba tayong mga na-identify na mga facts dito? Kasi alam natin in Eastern Visayas, meron din mga municipality na pag during election, meron po tayong mga
as of now, none. Only would be Philippine National Police. So, in Argo, active, surrender, meron. Potential, mga meron. Sa potential, balo mga dati na ano dyan, or somebody else na gustong kumita, maging mercenaryo. But as of now, there are no funds.
So, ano ba yung mga preparation natin? Kasi papalapit na din yung election, meron din kasi mga politiko sometimes they hire para po maging magulo yung election, particularly doon po sa mga identify natin.
The voters should fire those politicians. If they hire, they should be fired by the people. Don't vote for them.
So how about po yung deployment natin sa mga mga identify po natin na hotspot during the election?
Sa ngayon, wala pa.
Wala pa.
As cold as your ice cream. No hotspots.
Siguro
so, nag-emerge actually yan as the election progresses. There's an evaluation that's being done jointly by the Commission on Election, the PNP, and even mga entities from the National Intelligence na nagbibigay ng evaluation and information. As soon as those are identified, yun yung ina-address ng deployment. So as of now, zero, none.
So
that's like your soft drinks.
So wala pang na yung mga intel natin, wala pa silang as of now na magkakaroon ng mga technique na mga.
Pwede lang sana mag-file pa.
Siguro okay, lastly na lang sir para to inline din naman yung mga taga-region at the same time kung ano po yung ginagawa ng 8ID. Meron po ba tayong dineploy na mga tao doon po sa mga kababayan natin na sa lanta ng during sa Typhoon Christine po?
Yes, we have a 23-man water search and rescue and mountain search and rescue team that is part of the Regional Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council 8. Ang kasama niyan is led by the Office of Civil Defense, Region 8, the AFP through the 8ID officer-led, si Lieutenant Cañete, with 22 skilled rescuers or search and rescue personnel. Then there's an element from the Philippine National Police, Police Regional Office 8, Bureau of Fire Protection, or MOC Rescue Volunteers, and the Department of Information and Communication Technology. So, kailan tayo dumating? Sunday? Sa Bicol. We already dispatched them as early as Friday. Kaya lang na stranded sa Allen dahil nung time na yun may signal number 2. Pinatawid sila ng Coast Guard Sunday. Then they reach Matnog and onward to the operation center of the region is in Legazpi, in the old airport. From there, we have presently deployments in Minalaba, Camarines Sur, and in Pili, Camarines Sur, in the old airport in Legazpi. And the report that we've been receiving, our troops are not only involved in search and rescue, but also in relief. Almost 2,000 family packs have been distributed in Pulangi, Uwas, and Igao, Albay, and then 240 or 500 family packs in hard-to-reach areas in Minalaba, Camarines Sur. Kasi ito yung mga alagang makita din natin sa television, yung talagang inunding, binaha, kaya mga kababayan natin yung mga apektado. So our troops, together with the other divisions, of course yung 9th Division, 2nd Division, 7th Division, and our neighbors from ASEAN, nag-employ ng Singapore Armed Forces ng isang C-130, yung Brunei Armed Forces, and the Malaysian Armed Forces are actually helping us out. I understand earlier may mga Australians dito. Of course, our Philippine Air Force is employing its air assets, yung Black Hawk helicopters, and joint na talaga ito. So, we have deployed our troops there. I checked their condition. They are still have high energy and high morale. I was asking if we need to replace them. Okay pa naman sila. And they are also being taken care of by the Nicolanos. Next.
Hello.
Yes, hi.
Just a gentle reminder to my colleagues. Please wait before you should ask any question. Please wait until your name will be recognized. Thank you. And my question is, sir, it cannot be denied that during the time of General Ligayo and De Leon, it has a excellent areas in the region. And until now, sir, we would like to know the latest accomplishment of the AID. Siyempre, si General Ligayo, din na namin because of his busy task, so hindi na nakapag-update as well. So we would like to know kung ano po yung mga latest accomplishment ng stormtroopers. Thank you.
So, between the last time siguro na na-prepare was half of this year, July, to this point, we have neutralized numbers, neutralized or apprehended during 244 combat operations, where 47 firearms were seized, 78 hideouts were destroyed, and 17 anti-personnel mines were uncovered. Some of those significant personalities neutralized as follows. Terencio Eder, alias Anjo, is now Secretary of Sub-Regional Committee Emporium, and Annalyn Sauan Eder alias Enya, Secretary, Sub-Regional Committee Emporium. Rolando Romana alias Bal, Commanding Officer, Apoy Platon, Sub-Regional Committee Sesame. Terencio Eder alias Anjo, Vice Platoon Leader, Sub-Regional Group. SRGU Amihan. Mulog Roscoe alias Obed, Staff of the Education Department, Sub-Regional Committee Browser. Alfredo Labok alias Payong, Organizing Department, Sub-Regional Committee Browser. And Ruel Villasar alias Subi, Logistics Officer of Squad 2, National Security Force. So, with that, makikita natin na itong mga significant personalities sa kanilang movement who are now rendered immotive because of their apprehension, meaning if ever may mga naiwan dyan, they are actually hard-pressed to perform their usual geological, political, organizing, even military works. So, our efforts will be continuing. We are not really, kung sino man ang rating ng excellent. I believe our troops are doing excellently every day because they are even offering their lives. And just this week, as you can see, we still have half mask of our flag because of sacrifice made by Private Boyd Octong of the Visares, who died in line of duty when performing combat operations in Barangay Anagasin, Maranas, last October 22, where he drowned. And tomorrow he will be laid to rest in his hometown of Visares. So, our efforts will be continuing together with the rest of the whole of government and the whole of society. There are still ongoing efforts with the Regional Task Force and local police armed conflict. The day or the week after, 3 days after, I assume here, we met with, supposedly with then Secretary Abalos, pero he sent, kasi paalis naman na siya dahil nag-file, si Undersecretary Iringan. Maraming napag-usapan doon. One of the matters that was discussed there about ito sa housing ng mga FRs, Friends Rescue. And isa sa mga concrete accomplishment ng ating mga brigades ngayon is the Saad na Balay in San Jose de Buwan, Matuginaw. So, I believe malaking bagay talaga na nagkataroon ng matitirahan yung mga ating yung sa kalihupan, sa kabila ngayon ay nagbalik doon na sa pamalaan. So, the Saad na Balay ay concrete manifestation of the actions that we are taking. Pero there are still kailangan i-address like the housing in Kaplangan in Mondragon. Dahil medyo inaantala na talaga yung implementation dahil sa mga requirements ng National Housing Authority, like land, transfer ng titles, and so on and so forth. But actions are being done by the respective agencies para ma-address and eventually mabigay talaga sa kanila yung dapat in a comprehensive manner. Hindi lang bahay, kundi kabuhayan at yung pangmatagalan. As a matter of fact, the effort of the National Amnesty Commission is also ongoing. They have been moving around just last week. Nandito yung isa sa mga commissioner and 2 other lawyers who are conducting their consultations with our uniformed personnel and the potential emissaries for the granting of amnesty under the Executive Order 404. Granting amnesty to the members of the Communist Party of the Philippines kasi meron din amnesty sa Philippines. So, this eradication, pag amnesty kasi lahat crimes committed in furtherance of rebellion, o mga, except for some heinous crimes, crimes against chastity, will be written off with amnesty, and they will be entitled as reborn Filipino citizens who will be really given the chance to join the mainstream society. So yun po ang effort that where General Ligayo will left off. And I assure you, ma'am, we will continue to do so until I am properly relieved.
Yes, sir. Follow-up, sir. In an inquisitive manner, I am today mga nag-surrender, namatay. Sa isang Visayas tayo nag-uusap. May tinutugis pa ba tayo na nasa OE or Narapatan? Kasi parang palagay ko kasi tapos na sila eh. Pero
hindi pa po tapos. Meron. So, until yung mga last year na nasa nandyan, sabi niyo, we don't use that term anymore. It's not the order of battle. It's the periodic status report. So, periodically, it is updated. And because of that, we cannot totally parang write off. Because there's a process being jointly done na minimeasure ng mga parameters na yan. But, like your impression, actually, ano talaga, kung sa mga, di ba, dami-daming cooperative, dami-daming mga corporation, ay dami ng nawasak ng tahanan. Yung mga pamilya, may nagtatayo pa mga doon, di ba? May padre di pamilya, may padre, may ganito. May madre, may padre, may padre. So, nandun pa mga pangalan, pero sa totoo lang, di ba? Iwalay sa, kung iba nandun sa isang bahay, pero iwalay matulog, kabilaan. Ganon ang kalagayan ng kaunlagan. So, ay may nakatala, meron. Pero, pero kailangan natin i-address kasi para totally na masabi na narito ang pagkakataon nila mag-win amnesty. This will actually provide the eventual political settlement of this issue. This is not just actually a military issue or a military problem. It's a political-military issue, a political-military problem that springs from the desire to overthrow government through the use of arms. Kasi sa paniniwala niya, komunismo ang solusyon. Pero para mabigay nila solusyon nila, ang kanilang prescription ay operasyon na gano'n. Basta na lang yung ayaw maniwala sa kanilang paniniwala ay idadaan sa dahas. Hindi naman pwedeng gano'n lang. Kaya yung Estado, kami, bilang mga sundalo at pinigyan ng katungkulan na gumamit din ng dahas kung kinakailangan na ayon sa batas upang ipulin yung pwede.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm sure na may mga minomonitor na mga grupo ang army, especially in northern Samar area. Ano po nangyari dun sa mga grupo during the typhoon? May bumaba ba? May namatay? May ano nangyari?
Your guess is as good as mine. Wala kasi nag-report eh kung pamasang sitwasyon. Pero I surmise, they were also affected ng typhoon. Kasi kami nga na lalong nakaswa. So, nawa, itong leksyon na ito, isa sa mga alam ng termo na nag-iwan pa. Because of climate change, even guerrilla warfare is affected by climate change. You know why? Dahil nga naging ulian yung panahon. Kahit tagulan doon sa loob ng ano natin, dehydrate yung tropa namin. Yung kanina, nasa lubong natin, official yun, dehydrate yun. O kaya nadulas doon sa dahil climate change nga eh. Minsan nag-init doon, basang-basa pa rin sila sa ulan. Kaya malulugi yung forecast ko dito po. then again, yung effect ng weather, climate, even in this movement, I believe, as time goes by, no? Kaya makita natin, ganyan lang yung impact niya around the country. That typhoon, di ba? Ano yan eh, hindi, parang iba, parang hindi nila, hindi sila na-alarma dahil signal ng buwan. Pero yung rain band niya, and with the concept of urbanization, with so much population living in steros, living along the rivers, that has a consequential effect, even in the mountains. Kasi it's an ecology, di ba? From ridge to ridge, lahat yan. So even rebels, even yung mga guerrillas, so-called, will be affected by these kinds of weather phenomenon and the phenomenon of urbanization, the phenomenon of social change.
Palang na lang, sir. Marami sa mga tukoy ng Philippine Army, ng mga politicians, especially in Northern Samar, 2nd District.
May talusing. May narinig tayo ng
Sino? Tukoy na yun.
Yung name names, Abel. Name names, Abel.
Ano yung, who are supporting, allegedly supporting the other side? Alam niyo, sino yan. Anong masasabi mo sa kanila siya? Kasi nag-re-elect.
Ang masasabi ko lang, ang sabi ni Paul sa inyo, ganito, ang bayo, if I were si Paul Dasa, ang marin ko si Paul Dasa. Paul Dasa is a good friend of mine because I invited him actually last week dito in honor of his uncle, the late Cavalier Antonio Dasa. He's a graduate of the Philippine Military Academy class of 1965. Pero si he passed away na pala 3 years ago. So, if I were Paul Dasa, in his shoes, no, coming from, pero meron ito baka ikaw din ako eh. Pero kunwari lang. Pero si Paul ada kita istorya, Paul. St. Peter is watching. Kaya sa akin na lang makonsensya naman sila. Diba? Kung and I believe, no, sabi ko kanina, yung practice natin ko, the political maturity of Filipino voters is improving. Maraming magsasabi mag-content niyan. Kasi, diba, why are actors running? Ako nga, acting nga ako eh. I'm running. I'm running errands all around. Because if you don't run, this country, your community will not move faster. Diba? Sometimes we just have to do that. Run things, running, and politicking is not bad per se. Every day is a political day. Because politics is the way by which people are governed by their governors, whom they elect through elections, and who articulate yung maarte na makulit ng kanilang mga needs and aspirations. Ideally, diba? Ideal yun. In a perfect world, there are only people like us, like me. My name is like that. But I am not. I'm also human. So, they are also human also. Forgive them or they do not know what they're doing. If they know, then their conscience will bother them. If they don't have the conscience, let the people decide.
Sir, The next to raise question is Miss Jessie. Regaga o kayo po?
Handa po ba?
100% prepared. Kasi sobra pa nga. We have a lot of equipment now. Unlike na daw, gusto mo maghirap.
Sana, sir.
Dami doon, nakastock. We have been over-preparing, I think, because, yes, dati-dati, nung nangyari itong mga landa, parang lumabas na lahat, di ba? Mostly caught unawares. Pero nowadays, our government, even non-government, yung mga private organizations have invested so much in equipment, in trainings, in resources. So, 102%.
Thank you, sir.
Ano, sir? Gumagawa po sir, di ba? Hindi yan ang tanong, sir. Hindi yung tanong ko lang, sir, programa at alam niyo po yan na mayroon akong programa sa sundalo tuwing Sabado, yung Ansa Mariana. Pagdating sa mga recruitment, may mga katanungan na hindi nasasagot, lalo na po sa ECS, yung sa mga candidate soldiers for course, sa mga high school graduate, candidate soldier course. Ang tinatanong nila sa akin, kung nakapasa na daw sila at nakaano ng mga requirements, ang problema ay nagkakaroon ng quota parati. So, pwede po ba gawin ng paraan yung mga quota na yan sa ating mga brigade o lalo na po dito? Ito'y ano lang naman tanong kung pwede kasi ang dami po sayang na mga gustong magsundalo pero hindi naabutan sa mga quota. Ano po ang magiging action nito dito, sir?
Actually, ang voluntary kasi itong army nito. So, at saka hindi din kami nag-charge ng placement fee. So, yung expenses that are incurred, as much as possible, talagang minimitigate. Ngayon, pinapatawag lang para sa medical exam or interview, pinaprovide namin ng housing, ng accommodation. And in fact, yung candidate soldier, iba yung may subsistence na pinapakain sila for 2 weeks. Kasi yun ang minimum doon sa yung sa Visayas kasi sa amin lang. So subsidize yung kanilang messing for the period na yun ang expected na matapos ang medical exam. Beyond that, really, yung applicant na yung prepare na, lalo na kung mag-stay sa doon, yun nga, iba nagkaroon ng boarding house, so nagbabayad sila sa but we have been, our headquarters have been certain efforts to minimize yung mga ganun talaga na expense by shortening the application period, tapos yun nga, providing accommodation, subsidizing yung for a certain period lang, but we cannot do it na prolong.
May follow-up, may iba pa. Sir, doon po sa Northern Samar, especially where it's...
May follow-up din na sa DJ ko, bago yung mo,
So, sa ngayon, actually sir, mayroong may kami dito na nagpapa-exam ang Philippine Marines.
Marines, yes.
So, Philippine Marines sir,
6 at 7.
Yes sir, ito sa Eastern Visayas. So they are reaching out, magpapa-exam sila, pero isa sa nai-recommend namin kasi sumubra yung kotaan ng Army na nag-apply na matatapos na doon sa ACTAB. Service yun, but the ACTAB, yung qualification exam is the same or standard. So yung na-recommend namin doon sa Marine, na di ka also yun, yung hindi umabot sa kota. Yung mga nakapasa na. So, may ano yun, darating yung mga nag-inform din sila na ano kasi pwede silang, kung hindi man lang umako sa kota ng army, kita na join the Marines.
Security status. Ang daming nagtatanong, sir, ano po ang inyong magiging reaction na karamihan na nagiging i-declare ang first district ng Northern Samar. Pero ang second district ng Northern Samar, ni isa, wala pang na-declare.
Isa? Yung declaration ng stable internal peace and security condition.
Yes.
So, tama. Nasa first district kasi una talaga na-stabilize doon sa first district. So, halos nag-usaw na rin pati yung mga dyan. May remnant talaga sa second district. So, kaya po ito yung dapat natin pagtulungan para i-declare yan na stable. So, there's still some degree of instability because of the remnants of the second district part of the summer.
Thank you.
I just had a few questions about the amnesty program. Na-mention nyo na earlier yun, diba? Pero recently there is a press release na nilabas ang provincial government of Northern Samar regarding plan to streamline the amnesty process, amnesty application process, based on some talks nila with the NTSC officials. Are you familiar with this? Ano yung kailangan i-streamline sa whole process?
I'm not familiar sa provincial level, but yung National Amnesty Commission kasi, they're following yung apat na yung executive order. And yung provincial level, I believe, part yan, they cannot just implement their own, they have to follow the IRR, the National Amnesty Commission. So, maybe ano lang yun, clarifying siguro or making their own IRR. I would like to believe, I haven't heard kung ano yung particular. Maybe, ewan ko kung nandyan kasi na mapunin. O umalis na. Alis na tayo. Ito, nakaalis na. I haven't heard yung particular sa kasi I cannot answer.
I also would like to know ilan na yung nag-apply ng amnesty in the whole region. Ilan na yung
that again, wala kaming data dahil hindi pa meet actually yung regional. So nasa provincial level. Pero actually I asked around 1,000 yung process nila ng national level, national amnesty commission.
So, sa process ba ng amnesty application, kinakausap ba yung family ng victim ng atrocity? Kasi syempre sila yung nawalan ng mahal sa buhay. Siguro pinatay, kaya nagkaroon ng kaso ng sa rebel, and this rebel is applied for an amnesty. Is there a discussion with the family of the victims?
G7. Yung family daw ng victims, they're part of the dun sa processing ng amnesty. Yung family ng victims na
sa process ba ng amnesty application, kinakausap din ba yung family?
Nagkaso ng kanilang ginawa na kaso, ano din yung effort ng national government para naman doon sa mga pamilya ng mga naging biktima. At ang kapaliwanagan sa atin dito ng OPAPRO, there is a transformation program na i-implement din ng OPAPRO wherein also part nito yung perhaps the reparation ng mga victims and of course yung para maging kompleto yung total healing of the not only total healing ng community is part din na i-engage din. Magkakaroon din ng programa from the national government to engage as well the families of the victims of the atrocities committed by the former rebels of the communist terrorist group. So it is ang transformation kasi, it is a process. So marami din itong gagawin. Part ng transformation is yung social healing, at para magkaroon ng social healing, mangunguna talaga dyan yung admission of the atrocities na conducted by the former rebels kung sila man ay kasama, so that the total forgiveness of the government, and as well magkaroon din ng healing doon sa mga biktima, ng mga kamag-anak ng biktima. And it is the duty of the government to make a transformation program na reconciliation program kasama dito. It is being undertaken by the OPAPRO, at ito ay pag-uusapan din bilang complete programa ng transformation of all of the previously conflict-affected communities.
So, last how many of them, if ever,
if ever, will be ready? That's part of our territory. No, not yet. But if necessary, we will do so. Because that's Philippine territory. We are Filipino soldiers. Pero rumong na eh. Pero, but in any eventuality, diba? We will be ready to do so. Because it's part of the Philippine territory, the West Philippine Sea. Baka mag-bulot kayo pa, wakay-wakay. WPS, Waray, Philippine Sea. Diba?
Next to give this question, sir, is Ms. Josie Sarceña, officer beside
all the way from Ormo.
Okay. Sir, siguro marami naman doon na tanong tungkol sa mga kalaban. Ito lang, follow-up ko lang, sir, kung iba, lagi pa rin nakikita namin sa mga leaflets nyo, sa flyers nyo, yung logo ng ATR. Sir, kumustahin ko lang sana yung Army Transformation Road. Kumusta na po ba yung Army at saka kumusta ba yung programa natin?
I call a friend. Naiinis na ako. Colonel Shalimar Imperial sa Chief Governor sa Chief Management Officer. So, sa kanya po yung
So as regards the transformation, well, it's not just on the organization and armaments. So andyan na po yung modernization ng our process as regards to armament and organization, yung mga necessary na organizations to be capable, di ba? Kasi from internal security operations, nag-transition na po tayo ngayon sa external defense, di ba? So yun siguro yung naririnig nyo, mabalikan ko yung tanong nyo kanina, na may mga ma-assign dun sa West Philippine Sea. Not necessarily ma-assign siguro ng mga from 8th Infantry Division to the West Philippine Sea. But yung posture na po namin is not only internal, but external defense na po ang posturing ng inyong mga kasundaluhan. So, as I've said, as regards dun sa transformation, it entails modernization sa aming mga equipment, na ang aming equipment ay dapat nakahanda sa lahat ng challenges, mapa-external defense or sa HADR. So, ongoing na po itong modernization natin sa ating mga equipment. And sa organizational changes, so marami na pong effect ng mga bagong organizations within the armed forces itself. And hindi lang po yun. Ang pagbabago po ay nasa individual soldier din po. And meron kami tinatawag na personal scorecard. Yung personal scorecard ng bawat sundalo, so minamap out ng bawat sundalo ang kanyang personal scorecard. Be it professional, personal, educational, spiritual, so lahat ng aspeto ng buhay ng isang tao. So andun na rin po. So parang ito ay nagiging goal niya. So periodically, ina-update niya ito kung na-comply ba niya. Kung na-comply ba niya itong mga targets niya. Like, kunwari sa family, Ang iba doon naglalagay ng target goal na sa family para maging kasi ito rin na-emphasize namin sa aming hanay na dapat serbisyo at pamilya. Service and family. So, na huwag niyang pababayaan yung kanyang pamilya. So, andun din yung dapat mapalapit siya sa kanyang pamilya. Like, so, ito yung mga measures like ilang beses siyang nagsimba. Ilang beses niyang nilabas yung kanyang mga anak. Ilang beses yung bonding moments niya with yung kanyang family. So, ito yung mga goals namin. Pagdating naman sa career, so, ano yung target goal niya? Sa mga succeeding, sa mga coming quarters. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter as regards yung kanyang career. So, ganun po. Minamap out na ng bawat sundalo yung kanyang lahat ng aspeto ng kanyang buhay. So, this way, ito yung magiging focus niya at hindi yung magbisyo-bisyo, hindi yung mga bisyo-bisyo maging focus niya sa buhay. So yung kanyang career, yung kanyang pamilya. So, pero hindi po natin maiwasan, hindi naman perfecto yung organization. Meron pa rin pong nagiging taliwas ng landas. So kaya nga po meron din kaming mga measures para po to read yung aming hanay of well, we consider yung mga scalawags or dregs ng society. So yun po, meron pa po bang katanungan? Are you satisfied with my answer po?
Naroon po sila ng time ng banding. Nagiging, pwede pa sila makauwi, open kaysa dati?
Well, meron po kaming mga policies as regards leaves and privileges. So, aside from yung rest, may tinatawag kaming rest and recreation. Well, I think yung rest and recreation, if meron kang 3 months, you are qualified for a rest and recreation. Yung number of days depends kung gaano kalayo yung bahay mo. Pag nasa Luzon or nasa Mindanao, I think it's 15 days plus 3 days travel allowance. I think ganun yung one. But over and above yung rest and recreation, meron din namang tinatawag na what do you call it?
Visitation. Pwede ba sila yung family naman?
Pwede po. Pwede rin po. Meron din po naman weekend lalo pag andito lang naman sa mga garrison like ito, we call it a garrison assignment like dito sa headquarters. Pwede rin po naman mga weekend privileges pag walang duty. So nag-rotate din yung mga tao namin for a weekend privilege. That is over and above dun sa rest and recreation. And again, pag may mga emergency, meron yung tinatawag na leave, may leave yung how do you call it? Informal leave. So yung informal leave na yun, kung may mga emergencies yung isang tao, pwede siya mag-apply ng 15 days, 30 days, 45 days na informal leave. Ito yung mga nababawas sa kanilang leave credits. Ibinabawas sa kanilang leave credits. And well, other than that, yung maternity leave, meron pang paternity leave pa. And paternity leave. 7 days. So ito po yung mga privileges ng ating mga sundalo. Ito yung pinakamit, yung pa yung nakalimutan ko eh. So it's all about, yung ATR kasi, it's all about because we have limited resources, dapat yung mga resources namin ginagastos sa tama. So we have programs na yung mga activities dapat na itutugma with the resources. So tinutugma namin yung resources, activities, vis-a-vis yung objective namin. So that is the meat ng Army Transformation Roadmap. So objectives o goals, vis-a-vis actions and resources. So ito nag-synchronize namin ito. So bottom line is we achieve our mission with the appropriate resources. Yep.
If the President will sign it to the General Appropriations Act, so it will be done by 2025. So it's still in the legislative process.
Wala pa yung amount set.
350.
Yes, from 150.
From 150 to 350. That's subsistence including soldiers and under 54 personnel.
So in the sense of time server.
Tony Gumani, sir, from the Radyo Pilipinas. My concern continues effort of the military, the community support program. They identified already the problems and the concerns coming from the certain barangays. And through the NTL-ELCA and the EU-70, from Northern Samar, we have 6 pilot barangays na nabigyan ng 20 million pesos na in-implement as their projects sa ilalim po ng SBDP. For the Region 8, covering din kasama na rin po yung Northern Samar, ilan po ba dito at ilan po ba dito mga SBDP na maayos po yung pagka-implementa through po the data, available data, the ID?
Anong maayos?
Yes po.
Mayroon bang hindi maayos?
If I'm not mistaken,
that's a loaded question. I will not answer that.
Okay,
There are 577 barangay beneficiaries, allotted 2.1 billion for 2024. So, nabanggit mo na yung 6 billion na. Pero yung itong 577, 5 billion eh. 5. Pero 2.1 billion yung para sa 500 throughout the region ito. So, out of 724 BDB projects, 425 were completed. So, more than half. Kaya hindi talaga maayos yung the other half. Ay hindi pa natapos. Projects sa mayroong completion pero may mga delays nangyari. Siguro yung mga sinasabi ng hindi maayos. May mga iba apektado ng weather, iba sa procurement. These are all being accounted for and audited by COA.
So hindi ito sa totoo na mayroong mga projects talaga na hindi maayos sa pag-implement. It's because
hindi pa na-implement.
Okay.
Yung more than half pa lang.
Okay, thank you.
May accountability naman po. So hindi natin. Ayaw mo bayad. Si salary.
Sir, hindi ba ito nakaka-epekto dito sa implementation of our projects na halos lahat na lang ata nagiging contractor? Even the barangay official ay contractor. Yung mga malapit kay Go, malapit kay Mayor ay nagiging contractor.
Kahit yung malayo kay Go, nagiging contractor. It's a fair game, you know. I've been chairman of our Special Vision Awards Committee. So there's a process we follow Public Act 9184. It's published, bidders submit their bids, you have to qualify and ganun pa. So it's not just everybody. Somebody has to qualify to go through the process. Sometimes the bidding fails, but hindi maka-qualify. So it's not just everybody.
Okay, thank you, sir. One concern na po. Medyo malayo-layo kasi yung Northern Samar. Sayang naman yung mga namin time. In relation to the question of Tito Joy kanina about the declaration of the SEAMS, the Stable Internal Peace and Security, can you, sir, educate us, is it different from the insurgency fleet?
It's in the same spectrum. Spectrum kasi yan eh. So, yung classification lang yun sa pero similar.
So, in order in the case of Northern Samar, ilan na po ang mga municipalities na na-declare? Yes, meron na pong 6. So, pagka na-declare na po pa the 24 municipalities of the province of Northern Samar, is considered po ba na insurgency free?
The province has to affirm that. Kailangan mag-declare dito sa provincial level. It's not automatic. Kasi yung iba yung nandun na yung provincial council nag-affirm. Pero logically, kailangan mahanap na yung revenue municipalities, which is a challenge for Nortehanos. And I believe the Nortehanos are great people and great di ibabaw nun. You have to live up the spirit of the ibabaw nun.
Yes, sir. Pagka po ni Simboroy. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Commissioner.
Information. Sir, we are on almost halfway to the family-centered army. And
we are on full stream. Bakit mag-halfway pa?
Okay. Full stream na tayo sa family-centered army.
You know why? We do not tolerate yung polygamy. Our policy is monogamy. Isa lang yung dapat na. Anyway, what's the question?
My question, sir, is there a social worker inside the camp of the Philippine Army to cater mga pakonti-konting problema ng mga enlisted personnel ng Army? To support the Army?
Wala talagang item na gano'n.
Social worker.
Gusto mo mag-apply? We have until the position for a medical officer. It's open now. Medical officer 3, salary grade 21. Kung may kilala kayo, advertise ko na. The salary around 70 plus base pay. It's open. G1, i-publish mo na para makaselect mo na. It's open to pero we have nurses in the hospital, psychologists. Siguro the closest is the psychologist. So, meron kaming neurosec testing for soldiers. But we have a mechanism doon sa issues, sa marital problems. Essentially, it's under my supervision, the Office of Ethical Standards and Public Accountability, o OESPA, then the Gender and Development Office are under my supervision. We have a mediation office, a mediation room. We have mechanism to settle amicably yung mga marital and domestic issues. But if we don't want to do so, we have a provost marshal that conducts investigation so that yung mga subject ng complaint ay makapadaan sa due process. We have a staff judge advocate who makes the legal opinion para yung aming judgment will not err on the side of legal. And these are all being reviewed by higher rank members. So it's not halfway. We've been doing that as part of our discipline law for this time.
Yes, thank you, sir. No follow-up question.
At already October. Sa Germany naman, October Fest. Pero kahit sa kayo, hindi lang pang-fiesta, pang-press pa, kaya October press. So just a meeting for the Ma'am, question.
Number of surrenderers in Region 8.
Total. Suma total, in summary, we have 2,118 2016 to this day. 2,118 from the provinces of Samar, Eastern Samar, Northern Samar, Leyte, Southern Leyte. Wala sabihin na nakamalak po.
Can we have that figure, sir, so that we can include that in our stories? And another follow-up question po. How many, with the stated figure, how many have already received or were already enrolled under the e-clip? Huli talaga akong pinatanong dito, sir, ni G7.
The ILG administered 641.
Out of 2,000, sir?
Yes.
600 na lang.
Meron iba kasi na
yes, po.
Ang ating pong thinking po ay maraming po. Ito yung financial stimulation, basta yung DLG administered, maraming component yan. Pero meron pa mga ibang agencies na nagbibigay. So, immediately ang ano dito, immediate na itong 2,189 yun ng mga individual na surrender. Ito ay nabigyan din po ng local social integration program na iba-iba kada probinsya. So, meron silang immediate. Kaya po sa madalang kulima. Meron silang pending case na hindi lang siguro o alam nila na meron sila naging participation sa mga atrocities na gawa ng communist terrorists para mawala yung kanilang legal liability in the future. Kasi meron po yung mga nakasuha na dyan, those kaya pwede po silang mag-apply. Pero meron po kami ngayon automatic na 64 kasi sa record po namin, meron kami out of 2,000 plus na nag-surrender sa amin, meron po yung 64 na meron pending case. Ito po yung aming ipoproseso through the local amnesty board. Yung sabi niya naman po, pag meron interesado mag-apply, yun nga po, meron na tayong dalawang amnesty board na na-establish, isa po sa Tacloban, isa dito sa Catalogan. Pero ang important, kung saan po sila mag-approach, they can approach sa mga infantry battalions natin, brigades, and even sa mga police station na they are interested to apply. Pero meron po tayong condition para makapag-apply ng amnesty. Ang unang-unang condition niya, dapat mag-surrender. Kung di pa siya nakapag-surrender, mag-surrender. That is the precondition. And second condition, they should have admitted that they are committed certain atrocities. Alam nila na may participation sila. Kasi ito po yung maging basis ng ng amnesty. Admission ng isang amnesty applicant na nagkasala sila o meron sila na-commit na crime.
Police, nakakarating po ba sa inyo? Ang sagot po sa akin, definitely, hindi po yan nakakarating sa amin. Kasi doon pa lang sa loob, bawal na kami gumamit ng cellphone, kundi yung mga opisyal lang at kahit radyo. So, kaya kung nababasa ko sa press release na we are calling na bumaba na sila, yung palang yung pinapanawagan natin, hindi nakakarinig ng panawagan natin. So, ang naging way ko doon is to approach the family yung nandun pa sa taas. Yan ang kinakausap ko sila, lahat na kung ano-ano pwede may parting sa kanila yung pamilya. Kasi ang pagkasabi sa akin, yung family nila ang nagdadala ng pagkain at suporta doon sa taas. Ngayon, mayroon po ba tayong deadline para sa kanila na para sa mga citizens, active citizens na bumaba, para yung mga kamag-anak gumawa ng paraan na bumaba na sila?
Yung kasalukuyang National Amnesty Program will expire on March 15, 2026. So, that is one of the recording point na maka-avail ng amnesty. Pero the effort has been ongoing naman. Pero kung tingnan natin na para maka-avail talaga sila, yung identity nila, yung case na wala, doon marirecord sa end ng amnesty program, which is just over a year from now. So, March 15, 2026. As to the approach sa family, yan na yung ginagawa din kung nakita niyo yung ginagawa ng General Mr. yung free family relatives engagement, diba? Yun ang approach. And it's very effective. Napakarami na ng through that effort. And sabi ni Ma, yung hard to reach, we will exert harder effort para maabot sila. Kasi yung iba talaga wala naman yung family nila actually nag-go sa saan. Mayroong mga dito, mga Ilocano, Ilonggo, mga kadre. Well, it has to go to that extent. Ako mapulit ko sa iyo sa istorya.
So, sir, another question po. Tungkol po dito sa mga gusto bumaba na may kaso. Kasi I have again negotiated ng isang CTG na bababa na daw siya. Pero ang problema, when it comes to the amnesty, pupunta ng polis, padating ng polis, sabi ng polis, ay hulihin namin yan.
That's why, kasi may PNP kasi kasama yun sa mga nitty-gritty na pagbababa. Kasi may, yung cases, mayroong limitation din. Not all cases.
Yan
sa rape, paninig po po yan. Pero yung mga other, di ba?
Kaso po na committed nila in
tolerance.
Kasi sabi ko, I can facilitate yung sa local amnesty. Pero sabi ng polis, susunodin mo dito sa amin. Then, kasi may warrant, ikukulong muna namin yan.
Yes. You have to
bago makakuha ng amnesty. So yan, ang sabi naman sa kabila, ay hindi na ako bababa kasi parehas na naman, makukulong ako. So, yan ang isang, kasi may, ang aral ko niya yata sa loob is bilang official ng OC in the PC. So yan ang bababa.
Hanapin namin sila pag ayaw nila bababa. Kaming aakyat.
Another question, that's ang programa para sa mga FR. Isa na yung programa doon, yung pabahay. Doon ako nila tinanong, okay yung sa Siliguan kasi natitirahan na. How about yung nag-groundbreaking kayo sa Canavin at sa Dolores na hanggang ngayon hindi pa natitirahan? Ano pa yung time frame po natin doon para ito magamit ng mga FR?
Unfortunately, yung take-overs pinili they submitted.
Kasi local funded po. Local groundbreaking po sila para maumpisan ng proyekto. But it's fully program kasi it will intense government fund. Alam naman natin yung konto ng gobyerno para mag-proseso. So, yun yung ano po. The groundbreaking so that it will be started already.
That's their initiative.
Sa NPA, ang mga kaso na magsusurrender ay hindi ma-arresto. Taken by the court to arrest yung mga kaso. Nalak by kopya kami ng mga warrant of arrest. But para mapasilitate po natin yung programa ng local amnesty program, the National Amnesty Commission together with the Department of Justice ay magpapalabas po ng safe conduct pass. So, para hindi naman makulihin yung mga magsusurrender na may kaso. And even before na wala po itong hindi pa na-aproban yung local amnesty program, kapag magsurrender naman sa military, yung mga may kaso, hindi natin rin over sa police. So, tinutulungan mga namin through legal cooperation kung paano mawawala yung kaso nila. Marami na pong insidente ganito sa North Samar, alam ko dito sa Leyte, na tumutulong yung ating military and even the police para ma-drop and close yung kaso ng mga border rebel na nagsusurrender. Dapat ang kaso ay was committed in furtherance of political belief dahil nag-join ka sa NPA, sinama ka ng tactical offensive, etc. So, pero practically yan, hindi yan furtherance of political belief, personal yan. Basta po ang sabi doon, in furtherance of political belief, yung sabihin, kung naka-order ka, kanasuhan ka kasi kasama ka sa ambush, that can be classified as furtherance of political belief. Pero minarder mo yung kaaway mo sa inyong barangay, ipeke ka na, pinatay mo sa namin sa barangay. Yes. Pero ano po lahat ng cases na committed prior November 23, November 23 of 2003, pag November 24 ka ng ambush, hindi nakasama.
So, sir, before we further MP
sabi kanina ng staff ko, wala talagang organisasyon na perfect. Wala din talagang tao perfect. Magkapatid ko, yung paging perfecto ay maatap ating lang matatamo sa biyaya ng Diyos. Kaya pagkabayan tayo ng Diyos, ng kapal, ating bansa, laban sa anumang sakuna. Nangarap ito, laban sa mga naiwan pa na kasaway sa sosyedad at laban sa magtatangkang magsupil at kairalin yung kanilang kagustuhan sa ating bansa kasama na ang ating karagatan. So, maraming salamat sa inyong pagdalo. Yun, tumunod na yung napasa na siko. 8:30 na o 5:30 na, kaya labas na ang labas mo na, Jomar, ang Oktoberfest. Oktoberfest. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
To extend our warmest congratulations to Brigadier General Perfecto Peña Redondo on your appointment as the new Acting Commanding General of the Elite 8th Infantry 1st Division, a community of brave and gallant soldiers. It is with great pride and honor that we, in accord with your men, welcome you as the new Acting Division Commander. Your leadership, dedication, and wealth of experience inspire confidence to all. Thus, we look forward working under your guidance and expertise as 8ID embark a new chapter under your command for the continuing success in your mission to protect and serve our country. As you take helm, we of the press commit to standing alongside with you with an unwavering loyalty and professionalism, ready to face every challenge and fulfillment of our role as a division media outlet in the dissemination of factual information to the public. General, kahit hindi man nagkakaisa-minsan yung mga taga-media dahil sa magkaiba-ibang prinsipyo, please be assured of our full support and cooperation as we work together to uphold the values and objectives of our organization. We are eager to collaborate closely with you in fostering teamwork, discipline, excellence among all members of the 8ID Press Corps. We are ready to contribute our utmost in fulfilling tasks and challenges ahead. We respect and trust in your leadership. We are excited to support in your vision for the 8ID's future. Once again, congratulations, and we look forward to working with you in service to achieving our shared objectives. Our salute to General Peña Redondo and the entire 8ID Command.